Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to some Steampunk. Let me just go in here before I forget and get my back tank charged up a little bit more. I built a deployer. I just slapped it on here with a depot so I could do some deploying, and we'll go over why here in a minute. But I was going through the quest lines and trying to finish off as much low-hanging fruit as I could, but some of them I just being lazy on completing just now. There's no huge rewards in here. Maybe you get lucky with some of the random rewards that are offered. There, I got a random reward somewhere. There are some random rewards where you can get lucky and get like a netherite ingot or something like that, or you could get a stack of wood. Yeah. So hopefully you get lucky. I haven't gotten too lucky so far, but that is what it is. I did get lucky killing or finding one skill page, as well as killing an enderman and finding this skill page. So I thought we'd go over that here just now. So when you drop one of these pages with the skill, you just need to throw it onto your hotbar, give her a right click, and that will drop into your skill book and will add a new skill for you to choose from. I haven't even started upgrading any of my skills just yet, because there are a lot of skills that just we haven't found right off the beginning of the game. So basically the way you can tell them apart is that with this little icon there will show you things that you've obtained from a skill page, whereas these other ones are all just the base skills, right? Aha. So it only takes 5 levels to level up Ender Manipulator, which looks like it has a decent effect there. And then this Dent Skin, I think this is a really good one. I just found this one in a dungeon chest. But this looks like it'll just give us some protection or some damage reduction of one way or the other. So this will probably be something that I do invest in, because that seems reasonable. I'm probably going to stay away from things like the mining and maybe focus more on some of the combat ones at the start. But what I've been doing for now is just throwing everything into my XP bank. So I'm up to 52 here as well. The secondary effect that this does, not spending my experience on any of the skills here, is that when I get to enchanting, I will be able to do it effectively, right? I'll be able to take myself up to 30 exactly, then spend the 3 for an enchantment, then take 3 more out, right? Like this. And use my experience effectively for doing the enchanting, rather than being not so effective with the enchanting, because it'll really waste. Like if I was at 35 and I did a 3-level enchantment, that's like wasting almost 2 to 3 levels of experience. The higher you go, like if I took all of my experience out and then go up to 52 and then did a 3-level enchant, that was probably equal to like 20 levels of experience. I don't know exactly. I don't do that kind of math, but I do know that it's pretty ridiculous in that regard. So, but what I did want to get into is I'm pretty glad I made my base underground, because it seems like we're in the summer season now. So just going outside, like I am, I guess, in a savanna region, which might be hotter than normal, but my temperature just in this regular area is 37, where it was like 26 in the springtime. So just to note one thing, but maybe when we get to winter time, it won't be so freezing here either. But do have to be careful when I'm out here that I don't overheat too much. And I got the basics down. I haven't tried any of the sewing crafting table yet stuff, but we'll get into that here a little bit shorter. But while I was perusing through the quest lines, there is this weapons and vehicles one, right? Kind of wants you to make each and every one of the guns, but the rewards aren't really worth going for them. So when you do have a gun picked out, you get a couple of extra bullets for your gun or whatever, right? Or if you make a, if you make a scope, there's no rewards for any of these add-ons, right? So you don't have to worry about doing all of these. But then we noticed over here is the vehicle section. I don't know about this one here, the turrets, but what I did notice, there's this airship, right? But this you can only do with mechanical crafting. So, and that takes 1, 5, 7, 11, 14 mechanical crafters to make that, because it's got such a weird shape, right? Then that'll get you an airship, slow but easy to maneuver. And I think because it takes this advanced engine, it would require a fuel source like coal. I'm not sure, maybe lava buckets would work in there. I'm not 100% sure, but I think because that's in there, it will require a fuel source. But the other one that I got, and I did see somebody using this in their playthrough, there's a biplane. So again, we need crafters to do this one. We'll take some fuel. Might be a pretty fast way to go around, but you'll need a long runway to take off and land from it. But the starter one is actually called this Gyrodyne, a human-powered primitive dual-seater. It only took one seat to make it, so I don't know what it means by dual-seater, but trusty, yet neither the fastest nor the easiest to fly, needs a good initial push to get the rotor spinning. So we'll go over the craft for it here. It's not too tough in the early game. Does require some amount of iron investment because you'll need to make a propeller, basically a double propeller, right? Because the propeller is andesite surrounded by alloys, and then by an andesite alloy surrounded by sheets, and then you surround the propeller with sheets, and then you'll get the large propeller. Now these hulls, 4 casings and 2 iron, you'll need 2 of these, so it's just 8 casings, not too tough there. Seats, super easy to make, just planks and wool. And then the trickiest part was the precision mechanism. So the precision mechanism is made in a recipe sequence, which is why I had to make the deployer. And you don't necessarily need the 3 deployers in a row with like a belt running it along and then looping it back. Like if you want to automate it, obviously you'd have to do all of those steps. But just for doing it regularly, you just need 1 depot, and this is a 5 times repeat. So you take your gold sheet, you put it down on the why is it escaping my thoughts? Depot. That's what it's called. You just put your gold sheet down on your depot, and I just had my my small cogwheels, my large cogwheels, and my iron nuggets all in my hand. And then you just put the small cogwheel in there. When it goes down, it'll deploy. Then you replace it with the large cogwheel. When it deploys, then you'll replace it with the iron nugget, and then you just repeat that 5 different times. And there is a 20% fail rate on it, so hopefully you don't get unlucky when you try to do that, because then it's going to cost you 5 more of each of these resources. Not that those are super tough anymore once you've done a little bit of digging, but yeah, 80% chance of getting the precision mechanism, 20% chance of it failing and you getting junk. but that was putting together of the gyrodyne, and you get it just as an item in your inventory, and you put it down. It's just pretty much just like a boat, right? Not too tough there. And I'm going to put this down right here so we can measure how far it actually takes us to take off. Yeah, see, there's 2 seats in here, yet the recipe only took 1 seat. Oh, I guess we didn't go over these large sails, but that's just 6 windmill sails. So you need 12 of these altogether, just sticks, wool, andesite alloy. And you get 2 each for those recipes, so it's not even that much. It's only 6 pieces of andesite alloy, 6 pieces of wool, and a few sticks, so nothing too eager or too tough there. So we'll just right click, and then we get to sit in there, and then all of a sudden your mouse doesn't do anything but rotate the camera around. And we'll use the WASD to do everything from here. So you'll need to push W to move forward, and that'll start going, and it'll ramp up the propeller a bit. And then you'll pop up off the ground, and then you can use space to go up. Aha! We encountered some kinetic force. It's the first time I crashed this guy, so I didn't want to go too far anyways, because I wanted to see what the takeoff length was that we needed for it, because that's going to be an important thing to know moving forward, I think. Okay, so it did it right on the edge of the garden, so that'll be super easy to calculate there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 looks like. But yeah, once you're here, just W forward, S back, and then you can rotate in place with the W or A and D keys, right? And the camera or the mouse just does the camera around. You can block with your shield, you can attack with your weapon from this thing, and flying it doesn't seem too tricky in there. So yeah, space to go up, and then shift to go down. And then so I got to wondering, well, if shift is down, and I tested this really carefully, right? I put myself over top of a tree, and it's like, does shift get me out of the vehicle? No, it doesn't. It goes down for you. The way to get out of the vehicle is with R. So R will pop you out of the vehicle. This is going to be super handy for getting around. It's not, super great in the overworld because it does take a fair amount of saturation to go. It's not super bad, but it's not great at the other side either, right? So. And the other bonuses here, up here in the air, we don't have so many effects of the temperature on the ground. Oh yeah, we did go up to 35. Okay. So I just wasn't in the savanna area when I was looking at my temperature before. We come out of the savanna and the temperature should start going back down again. Yeah, all right. But the other thing that I did notice when we looked at the immersive airships, so aircraft, you just type it all out in one, because if I didn't have the air in there, we'd get all of the immersive engineering stuff, like 5 pages of it. So you just type it out like that. There are upgrades, and if you hit E, then you get into this page here, So the weapon slot obviously is an upcoming feature. So I don't think we have the weapons for it. There's no weapons over here, obviously. But there are 3 places for upgrade slots and an extra half an inventory there for extra space for stuff and things. But going through all of these, obviously things that did engine power and fuel requirements, I don't know what kind of effect that's going to have. Like, does that mean minus 75% fuel requirement means it takes a lot less saturation to power this guy? I don't know about that. That might be something that we'll have to fly this guy a certain number of blocks and see how many haunches it takes to go. Or is it a certain amount of time? Because I think even my hunger is going down. Yes, it is, even while I'm just standing here. So it's kind of like maybe we're on a bicycle and we're pedaling away with our feet. Not sure on that. But a couple of the things that I did want to test. So the gyroscope, minus 100% wind effect. The propeller, the brass propeller, which is negative air friction. And the improved landing gear, so we can maybe see if that lowers the amount of blocks it takes us to take off. So while we're here and hovering, oh, look at that. That stopped that swaying back and forth. No, not fully, because we're swaying again the other way. But I've got a decent feel for it, so I'm just going to pop a couple of those things in and see if that affects the way it maneuvers, right? I don't really think so, to be honest with you. Doesn't feel like it's doing a heck of a lot for this guy here. But we may as well come on down and test out the takeoff thing. Just hit R and we can pop that out. Ah, you lose the upgrades pop out if you break it while you're there. I'll put this down on the same place again. Pop in the takeoff gear and so no. Wow. All right. So that didn't seem to have any effect on this machine at all either. Good to know, good to know. I'm here testing this stuff so you don't have to. So it even takes more than what, like, I don't know why that first time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. So it's popping off the ground more about here, right? 12, 13, 14, 15. About 15 blocks. So yeah, you're going to need probably 15 to 18 blocks for a safe takeoff point there. You can obviously hover with this guy, so landing isn't such a big deal. But taking it off. See, and that time it seemed to take off faster. Strange, strange. Anyways, one of the things that this is going to be really good for, though, is going to be in the nether. I've been did a little bit of messing around in the nether, and it's pretty, well, it's obviously more dangerous than the overworld. So you'll have to be really careful about that. If you're planning on doing some adventuring over there. But yeah, this'll just make it that much easier so that I don't have to worry about getting into all the mobs and going over all of the lava and everything. Although I did find, actually I can't even look here because of I'm in the aircraft. But I did find a really nice ring. Not the poison one. Poison one was really good when I fought a couple of other things. I thought I had a fire resistance one. I'm gonna have to look for that. Maybe I lost it on one of my deaths. That would be unfortunate. Not gonna look for it now. We're gonna move on to the last topic that I just wanted to talk about, and that is claims and force loading. So if you're in the map here, you can just drag and right click, and then it'll highlight a couple of, you can highlight chunks as you need to, and then you go down there and you can click on claim selected, and that will make it a claim for you. The big thing you want to do, and you should do this early, but I'm just figuring it out here now for myself, is that in this, when you have claimed areas, creeper explosions can't grief your builds and your machines and anything else that you've got. Well, they'll hurt my cows, but they won't be able to blow up the fences around it or the terrain underneath them, or whatever kind of, if you've got some automation set up with them there. Then the next thing you can do, once you've claimed them, you can go over them again, and you can do force loading. So I did a couple of areas that I force loaded. I don't need those claimed, so I'll just unclaim them. So I claimed the 2 chunks that my iron farm is in, so that'll always be running regardless if I'm at my base here or not. And also I did a little claim over here on these 4 chunks because I'm growing some kelp, because I wanted to get some kelp backed up for getting some belts rocking and rolling. So I've got quite a bit of kelp planted over here, and then just letting it grow for a couple of rounds. And once I've got, 3 or 4 or 5 stacks of kelp, whatever, then we'll be able to unforce load that. And if I need it back again, it's easy to force load again. So just a couple of handy dandy quality of life things for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one.